Hey everyone, this is Grisha from Technical Option Traders Inc. Hope you guys are having a great day. So let's talk about what's going on in the stock market here and what's been happening and how we can make money, right? So if we look at the S&P 500, this is a daily time frame here. It's looking a little bit okay, a little bit of recovery or a bounce. Right now, what I'm looking at the MACD is there's a sell signal and the momentum on the downside is still there. However, what I want to watch for now is I want to see price get above this 448 level to go above 452 here, right? If it is going to bounce. Now, the main thing to remember is that we also are heading into earnings. So, financials reported earnings with JPM wasn't great. So that's not really a positive sign. That's not how we want to kick off earnings leading into FMOC, right? So that's something to be cautious of. Market rallied, however, it could be due to OPEX. OPEX is options are expiring tomorrow, so puts could be being bought, right? So puts could be being closed. So usually when puts are closed, that adds pressure to the upside. Okay, so just keep in mind, market makers may be trying to trap people here in this market. Another important thing to know is the S&P 500 right now is in a consolidation, right? So if we look at the bigger time frame, let's just get rid of the EMAs here for a second here, right? You have to understand one important aspect in this, okay? The S&P 500 is consolidating in this time frame. Okay, if you look at this, this is between 453 and 426. This is a 25 point, almost a 25 point consolidation zone. Okay, price is in this, right? What we want to see is price get above this level, start making new highs, buying pressures come in. Price is spending a lot of time in this zone between 452 and 427. These are a few months that have been spent in this area. Okay, however, now what we're seeing here, this is a shoulder, that's a head, and this is another shoulder, looks like it. But we'll see if this level breaks on the 410. Now, the catalyst could be is on May 2nd when we have the Fed talk, depending on how much they increase the interest rates by, right? So that could be the catalyst. But for now, we're starting to see the market consolidate. It may go consolidate for a few days in this area right here. So this is why I have the blue area marked. So if we can get about 462, then we're off to the races and we could possibly go to 479. But for now, this is a very tricky market to trade. There's days of failure, right? So if we look in the hourly time frame right now on the S&P 500, this level right here, about 435, this level is holding very, very strong, okay? So I'm just going to add the EMAs back in here. Okay, so this level is holding strong. So this is the 100. The 100 is acting as an important resistance level, which is about 444 level. We'll see what it does here on the hourly time frame. I like to use the hourly and the daily in conjunction together, and just to kind of see if the market is starting to turn. But right now, I don't see any turn in the market. Okay, to be honest with you guys, right now, I do see the market, stopping out here. I don't see the market getting above this unless we have really strong earnings from the tech names, right? So like the Teslas, the Amazon, Apples, right? So unless they have really strong earnings, I see a big problem for the market. The market just seems bearish to me for now. Okay, but overall, right now S&P 500 needs to get about 448 and 450, and then it will start moving higher, right? So if we look at the Qs here, the triple Qs. The Qs on a daily time frame, they're starting to recover here, which is they're starting to test this level. But remember, this was a level of demand, which is turning to a level of resistance for now. So it's starting to bounce from this bigger level, right? However, there's not aggressive sell volume. So there is more sell volume in the last few days or the few sessions, but it's not aggressive. So that's something to keep in mind for. So it could be due to the fact, once again, OPEX, and we have a short trading week. So a lot of people may not be trading or they don't want to get trapped. So there may not be a lot of liquidity present. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay. So a lot of money may be just sitting on the sideline. So we want to just wait and see what really happens. The name of the game is patience. We have to wait. Okay, so if you look at the hourly time frame, yeah, this is looking like it's starting to turn upwards. However, I'm not getting or I'm not trading until we get above 353 level and we see some strong buying volume step in. So the next few days, I would like to see volume stronger than today for me to build my hypothesis that we could be starting to turn. But for me, this is a big level on the daily, on the hourly time frame right here. 357, this gap. If this gap can be filled, obviously we can start to push to about 370. But if this gap is respected, expect a bigger move to the downside. Okay, so this is something to keep an eye on. And then the next we have is Dow Jones. Dow Jones Industrial is interesting. Financials didn't do that well, but Dow is still up here today. It's through this. It went through this level here, but it's bounced right back beautifully. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind of. Okay, it's below the 100-day on the daily, so that's something to keep. That's something to keep an eye on. And the EMAs are getting very, very tight here. So on the hourly time frame, we're starting to see that it's trying to push. Okay, however, it needs to make a high now. Okay, so these are lows that are setting in, and it needs to get above 348. Otherwise, we're going to see a further downside risk in the Dow Jones. But for now, it's just consolidating, and it's just trading in that consecutive range for now. Okay, so if we look at gold here, gold is holding beautifully on the daily time frame, and it's just, these candlesticks for me are getting a little worrisome for now. But the EMAs, you can see beautifully curling upwards here. These are very, very tight ranges, so liquidity in gold it looks like to be decreasing for me. I want to see the gold step up here above 185 and then close above 195. If that can happen, we can see a really aggressive move in gold. Like on the weekly time frames, we can see gold has made moves, right? But unfortunately, this level has been a level of big, big resistance for gold. But this is where price looks like it's being accepted for now. And if it continues to be accepted in this range, we can have a bigger breakout later on this year, because gold is a big catalyst and it's something to keep an eye on. With inflation rising, gold can pay big this year. All right, so next we want to keep our eye on VIX. Okay, VIX on the daily time frame, it's consolidating in this range here. We either need a breakout or a breakdown here. Okay, so this is a big level on VIX up here. All right, but what we need is we want to see if VIX can either continue to hold this level or does it break down here. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. This inverted head and shoulder pattern is still here. It's still holding this level pretty well overall. Okay, the other thing to keep in mind is KWEB had a nice bounce day off this support. Consolidation, not much going on here. A lot of Chinese stock are in consolidation. We're not getting a lot of volume to the sell side or the buy side. It's just acceptance in between the range. We want to see a sell-off. If the sell-off does trigger below this, there's a huge gap that it can be filled at 222 level. So this whole area, we can see a continuous move to the downside. Now looking at ARK. ARK is bouncing on support, which makes sense because a lot of stocks did bounce today. But this is not bullish in any situation right now for me. I want to see ARK. If this is going to go bullish here, what we want to see is we want to see a break of this, but we want to see a rise in volume with the moves. We want to see buying pressure being added back. Right now, I have no indication of buying pressure being added back. We need a few days to pass to really understand if ARK is ready to go to the upside. Right now, ARK is in consolidation between two zones. It's not really ready to go. Okay, so overall, the sectors that did really well today, as you guys can see, leading by Jets, airlines. Airlines, massive day. This is a massive bull flag on airlines on a daily time frame. We need to get above the 22 level, then push above the 23 and see if we can get above it. The biggest catalyst was Delta. I think Delta had a huge, phenomenal day, but then again, still in this zone here. We do need levels to break out here and start getting that bullish push to the upside. But for now, that's amazing for Delta, right? XOP, oil and gas. So this is something interesting. Other sectors are starting to move, but energy and oil and gas are still sticking around. They're not really losing their momentum. If we look at energy here, XLE is still strong here. There's absolutely nothing wrong with XLE, right? It's still to the upside. It's just a smaller candlestick on a daily time frame. Let's look at this on the hourly, right? So hourly, we're starting to see some price being rejected in this upper level, but it might take some time. But energy still looks strong. I don't see any reason why we have to worry about energy. It looks like momentum starting to pick up again, and MACD is about to curl back on the upside here, right? So this is something to keep an eye on this sector. And SMH bouncing off a critical level and a critical trend line. It desperately needs to get above this 260 level. If semiconductors are not able to get above this 260 level, this whole sector is in trouble. Okay, this is going to fall, and it's going to fall fast, and it's going to fall aggressive. Okay, so semiconductors do need some life here. They need some support, but I need price to close above 262 before I get a little bit bullish or bullish at all, right? Home builders are starting to bounce. See, most of the sectors, when I see stuff like this, when every sector's up except for utilities and utilities are barely down, this is what's telling me that was this move bounce, or was this a real start to a recovery? It looks more like a bounce because everything is everything is up. When everything is up, that can't be valid, right? So a lot of correlations, like if you understand correlations, when one sector is up, another sector is down, that kind of thinking gets to your mind that if everything is up, there's something going on behind the works. Okay, so look at Bitcoin trying to bounce here. Not too concerned about Bitcoin at all right now. I need it above 488 for it to push to about 60,000 until I get about to for this level here around 48, 49,000. I'm not getting bullish on Bitcoin at all. I'm just letting it be, not touching it. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Overall, the market is very frothy. Remember, if you're patient, your chances of winning your chances of winning are far greater. Sorry about that. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, guys. So in our community, we're trading less as well with what's going on with the market sectors. But there's one sector that's doing really, really well, and so that's like Walmart and what do you call Costco's. Okay, so consumer sector, so consumer staples, they're doing really well. Okay, and they look like they may continue to do well. The trend is up on these stocks, right? So remember, the trend is your friend. So if you guys want to watch stocks, or you want to find stocks that are in strong bullish markets, just find sectors that are leading and sectors that are strong, and look for stocks that are possibly looking to break out in those sectors. And that's how you simplify your trading. Just focus on the simple steps. Right, so I have a video actually on it on YouTube where I talk about different sectors and how to find stocks to trade. Make sure you check that out. Otherwise, have a great day, guys.